For you, Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. Let us pray. Father, in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we come before the throne of grace this afternoon with thanksgiving in our hearts, Jehovah Father. We call upon the Holy Spirit of the living God.
And even as we gather here to thank you for our national government, our county government, and the state departments that serve under you, O Jehovah God, we pray that you guide us to be a source of encouragement, to our youth, O Jehovah Father, and a source of people who know that the young people need to be helped. May you use us mightily to bring joy unto our young people. Use us, Jehovah God, to be able to walk with our children so that they will not indulge in things that are not in keeping with your word. May you continue to encourage them, and even as our leaders who are before us, O Jehovah God, that are going to talk to the youth today, we pray that their words will encourage them, will show them that we love them and we care for them, and we will continue to stand with them in this life as God enables us. We thank you and we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray and believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have our seats. We're going to have our beautiful seats. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the fourth time to Embu County, beautiful, beautiful county that has hosted this particular job fair that has been, of course, organized by three government departments. That is the Department for TVET, under the stewardship of our PS, Madam Esther Thara Moria, whose vision, of course, is to provide skilled labor for global competitive employability of our human resource. And of course, it has also been organized by the State Department for Diaspora, and they have a very, very unique vision line or tagline, which is to empower, engage, and protect. Yes, so once we provide globally competitive labor, of course, as TVET, to take to these various countries, the State Department for Diaspora, that is under the stewardship of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, is the one that protects us or champions the rights and welfares and interests of Kenyans that are overseas. That is a main mandate. And of course, without forgetting the Kenya Association of Technical Training Institution, that has also been able to bring over 27 technical training institutions from Mount Kenya East. East.
Trend carefully. Good. Tumpigie makofi.
Every bit of it lazima you be careful. Okay? So, wakati tuna shoot movie, let's assume kitu kama a prank hivyo. Amekuja kuniongelesha. Nitafanya hiyo udaku anataka nikiona ako na microphone. Okay. So where do we put it? In there. Okay? Tutaificha kwa nguo. In this case, unaiona? So sitaiweka hapa, nitaiweka mahali hautaona. Si utafanya vitu anafanya, si utasikiza tu, lakini she's having that mic, so inasikika wherever we are recording from. Okay?
Oh, the reason we were able to hear the anchor on that.
Yes, because she had it. Yeah? Either way, angetumia gani?
Madam Cecily Mbarilo, they have enough water, enough tumblers for all of us. Also, don't feel thirsty, as I'm feeling right now. Don't feel thirsty. There's enough water for all of us. And of course, we are pushing our hashtags
Madam
here.
Cecily Mbarilo,
Our
they have
hashtag is
enough
Kazi
water,
Maju,
enough tumblers for all of us. Also,
Kazi
don't feel
Maju,
thirsty.
or diaspora
As I'm
jobs.
feeling
That,
right
of
now.
course, will be accompanied for those of us
Don't
who
feel thirsty,
are
there's
in
enough water for all
on
of us.
Twitter.
And
Of course, will
we
be
are pushing
accompanied
our hashtags
by
here.
underscore
Hashtag is
TVET,
Kazi Maju.
TVET
Kazi
underscore
Maju, or
MOE.
diaspora
So that at
jobs.
least you can be able
That,
to
of
create
course, will be
traction
accompanied
towards
for those of us
TVET
who are
and
in,
diaspora underscore
on
KE.
Twitter.
So that we
Of
can
course,
create
will be
traction
accompanied
towards
by
diaspora. So that people can be
underscore
exposed to what
TVET,
diaspora and what TVET is
underscore
doing even
MOE.
after this
So that at
event.
least you can
And ladies
be
and
able to
gentlemen,
create
this event is only a
traction
3-day
towards
event.
TVET and
But the main
diaspora
purpose of us
underscore
is
KE. So that we can
to
create
engage,
traction
ladies and
towards diaspora. So
gentlemen,
that people
even
can be
further
exposed to what
after
diaspora
the
and what
program.
TVET
Ladies and
is
gentlemen, let me
doing
take this
even after
opportunity
event.
to
Ladies and
invite
gentlemen, this event is only a
a
3-day
distinguished
event.
man
But the main
who
purpose
will
of
take
us
over from
is
me and
to
just be
engage,
able to invite the
ladies
other
and
guests.
gentlemen, even
This man
further
was the
after
former High
the
Commissioner of Kenya to
program.
Australia and New
Ladies and
Zealand, the
gentlemen,
only
let me
man I
take
know
this
that has been High
to
Commissioner
invite,
for a continent.
distinguished
At least I'm
man
privileged. I
who
know High
will take over
Commissioners
from
for
me and
countries. This
just,
one
be
is a
able
High
to invite
Commissioner
the
for
other guests.
Australia. If
This man was the
my
former
education
High
is not
Commissioner
wrong,
of Kenya to
and he's the
Australia and
current
New Zealand,
Secretary
the
for
only man I know
Investment
that
and
has been High
Entrepreneurship.
Commissioner
Ladies and
for
gentlemen,
continent.
help me welcome
These are
Ambassador
privileged.
Isaiah
No High
Kabira to
Commissioners
come
for
and
countries. This one
invite the
is
rest of the
High
distinguished
Commissioner for
guests
Australia.
as
If
you honor.
my-
Tupigeni makofi
my
anapokuja.
education is not wrong, and
Asanteni
he's the
sana.
current Secretary for Investment and Entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Ambassador Isaiah Kabira to come and invite the rest of the distinguished guests as you honor.
Your
Tupigeni makofi
Excellency
anapokuja.
Honorable Cecily Mbarire,
Asanteni sana.
Governor of Embu County, my boss, Ms. Rosalind Jogu, PS for Diaspora,
Your Excellency Honorable Cecily
Dr. Esther
Mbarire,
Moria,
Governor of
PS
Embu
for
County,
TVET, distinguished guests,
my boss,
recognize
Ms.
our
Rosalind Jogu,
County Commissioner,
for Diaspora,
Mr. Jack Obo. Karibu sana, thank you
Dr.
for
Esther
hosting
Moria,
us.
PS for
I
TVET,
also recognize the entire leadership
distinguished
of Embu
guests,
County that is gathered here.
recognize our
We've
County
been
Commissioner,
making our many speeches.
Jack
Today
Obo.
is the day for
Karibu sana,
our
thank you for hosting us.
leaders to speak to
I
us.
also recognize the
But
entire
I want to
leadership
really
of Embu
first
County
thank
that is
Embu
gathered
County
here.
for inviting us to
We've
this
been
beautiful place.
making our many speeches. Today is the
You
day
are
for
very honored. This is
our
the second
leaders
job
to,
fair that we've
to
had.
speak to us.
So
But I want to
we thank
really
you for
first
partnering
thank
with
Embu
us.
County
We
for
want to appreciate the leadership that has been provided by our two PSs for showing us the way. I want to also acknowledge the many private recruiters who have joined us for this fair. Over 30 private agencies joined us. We appreciate the 40 or so TVETs that joined us for this fair. We sincerely appreciate, because this has been a partnership bringing together various government agencies. But more so, I really want to appreciate the youth who've been so patient. Governor, for the last 3 days, hatujasikia mtu hapa akiambiwa ati simu imepotea. These people have been very patient. They have been very questioning. They have been asking us very pertinent questions about job seeking. We have been here to try and empower them through information. We've been here to share information that will provide them with pathways for finding jobs abroad. And we know that the jobs are out there. And we are also confident that these forums have been helpful to you. And as we've told you for the last 2 days, job hunting is not a simple job. It is a full-time job. And we just want to give you hope, tell you, please do not give up. So let's walk this journey together. We have taken a lot of your records, so we look forward to communicating with you so that we know that the Embu Job Fair had actual deliverables. So with those very few remarks, I will be back here for the panel discussion, but I want to invite the County Commissioner, Mr. Jacobo, to invite the PS for Diaspora Affairs na pia tukaribisha Embu. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Governor Cecily Mbarire, Governor Embu, our peers, TVET, Dr. Moria, peers for Diaspora, State Department for Diaspora, Madam Jogu, all the distinguished guests from across the country, from across Eastern region, and all our neighbors. I take this opportunity on behalf of the Regional Commissioner, Eastern, to welcome all of you to Embu County, and especially Embu Town, which is the regional headquarters for Eastern. We really take it as a great honor for the two state departments to select Embu on the invitation of our governor to come for this particular event. Embu has been honored severally by hosting very high-level events, and we add this to our catalog of achievements. Your Excellency, the Governor has really been on the steer to promote this county as a very, very important destination for various national engagements. Your Excellency, we feel happy that you have made this to be a great county. Secondly, I just want to make an observation. Our PSS, Embu County, has been participating very effectively in the National Skills Inventory. This is an inventory which was created by the government to help the youths or any other job seeker to register their skills. And we do this through the National Employment Authority, which has an office in Embu, and the State Department for Labor. There's a portal where various job seekers and the youth register their skills. And we are not badly off. We are at 500 so far. This portal was created in March. So by June now, we have achieved 500 entries, and this is domiciled in the State Department for Labor. And this was a cabinet decision, and we are continuously promoting it so that our youths and job seekers can register. So on those few remarks, Your Excellency and our PSS, I'm happy that this organization has been done jointly by the county government of Embu and our offices and various stakeholders. Because they are diverse, and I believe there will be a time for us to know them maybe during the plenary, I'll not take a lot of time. I now want to invite Madam Jogu, our PS for Diaspora, and who is actually the driver of this, to address us and open and address this. So makofi kwa Madam, 1, 2, tena, asante sana, Madam PS.
Thank you very much, County Commissioner, and Honorable Cecily Mbarire, Governor, and my dear sister PS, Dr. Esther Moria, na adwa Embu Moyaro. Did I? Yes, okay, good. I got it. Okay, good. Mine is a very short assignment, really. I would like to invite the governor, because we are in the beautiful county of Embu, for you to give us some welcoming remarks, and then we'll hear from PS Tivet, and then I will say something. Please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The PS State Department for Diaspora Affairs, Rosalind Jogu, the PS State Department for TVET, Dr. Esther Moria, Ambassador Isaiah Kabira, Secretary Investment and Entrepreneurship, County Commissioner Jack Obuo, and the entire GAO team. the Honorable Norman Nyaga, the Chairman of Jeremiah Nyaga National Polytechnic, Honorable Moredi Kiora, MCA Betty South, Principals of the National Polytechnics and TVET present, CECs and Chief Officers here present, Mr. Frederick Nyaga of the State House, Heads and Directors of State Departments and Agencies, the officers from the Embu County Government, students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all our visitors who are here for the first time, led by our sister PS Roslyn, and tell them Karibu Embu County, the land of opportunity. I'm indeed very pleased to see so many young people present here this afternoon for the Mount Kenya East Diaspora Jobs Fair. We are happy as a county to be the hosting county for this important jobs fair. As part of the government's effort to help young people achieve their goals in securing internships and future jobs, we are happy to partner with the State Department for TVET and State Department for Diaspora Affairs to host this job fair. This fair has provided a unique opportunity to form partnerships between potential employers and employees. Entering work life after completing studies is a two-way process. As students or skilled persons, you need to make yourselves attractive to employers. Number two, organizations have to make an equal effort to attract the best students. Students today ask their potential employers, what can you offer? Can I fulfill my potential within your company, or can I live up to my dream? You therefore made an important choice by the choice of attending this job fair. Together with graduates from colleges and universities all around the country, you represent the real value, the most precious resource in Kenya today. In the public debate, we sometimes ask, how can we secure future wealth and welfare of our nation? And we forget that the answer is actually in the young people. And that's why this particular job fair is very, very important. The success factor for Kenya many years ahead is the young and educated or skilled people that are prepared to take positions that form building bricks for a sustainable future. As a prosperous future for Kenya is based on innovation and research in skilled areas, especially those offered by the vocational, technical and vocational education and training, TVET institutions. Businesses today have to be brave when looking for the right people. They must dare pursuing one of the most precious competitive advantages in our global world, which is highly skilled people with multicultural competence as part of their background. This job fair is a great starting point for work life. I strongly recommend young people to take this opportunity and visit as many stands as possible that are exhibited here. I must say I'm extremely happy as we were coming in and we talked to the team from diaspora. They said that to take this opportunity and visit as many stands as possible. 8,200 young people that had visited this jobs fair. Indeed, that's a great, great performance. And I really want to appreciate those from Embu County that have come in their numbers and say that this was a great opportunity for you to know how you can access diaspora jobs. And clearly, one of the challenges that we've seen is, number one, there was lack of information. We are happy now that you are equipped with the necessary information to know how you can access that job. We are happy as we spoke to the recruiting agencies that they have already identified some of you for interviews, and therefore you're going to be called for interviews in the near future. The challenge one being the fact that many of you may not be able to afford the amount of money being asked for, whether it is for passport, whether it is for a short course, especially if you want to go to whether it is for passport, whether it is for a short course, especially if you want.
And we have agreed that as a county, we are going to work very closely with the TVETs, especially Jeremiah Nyaga National Polytechnic that has already gotten a German teacher, to see how we can sponsor some of the students go and learn the language so that they can be able to get the jobs that are in that country. We are also going to look at those that need some licensing or certification for maritime courses, maritime jobs, the cruise ship jobs that are available, and there are very many, but you must get some certification for it by the Kenya Maritime Authority or other accredited institutions. We're also going to work closely with them and ensure that you get the certification that you require, and we shall support that. So in the next financial budget that is going to be passed at the end of this month, we will put aside some money for that purpose. The other thing that we are going to do is to work very, very closely with the State Department for Diaspora, State Department for Immigration, to ensure that those young people who need their passports quickly, urgently, can be able to access them so that they can be able to travel abroad. And I'm happy we have a passport office right here in Embu County. So if you have a problem getting a passport, depending on where you come from, as long as you're within the region, this is the nearest office you can visit for a passport. We'll work at that and make sure you get your passports in good time. And I want to appreciate you, PS, for taking up that role of pushing that we get these immigration documents in good time for our young people to get these jobs. I've seen many people asking, why are we doing these jobs fairs? Why do we need to take our young people abroad? Let me say this. If this one of the issues, and I think the PS for TVET has mentioned that in an interview earlier with the media, if there's one thing the president has been very, very keen on whenever he travels abroad, is to make sure he tries and negotiate for jobs in those countries. And the reason why that is the case is because Africa, and Kenya specifically, has a very young population. In other words, if you look at the number of young people below 30 and those above 60, that is retirement age, you'll find that we have a very young population. A lot of our population is young people who are in their age of production. Now, if you compare that with those in Europe, a lot of the population is the old generation. So it means, therefore, they require young persons who can do these jobs. We are lucky as a nation. We are an English-speaking country, so we can be able to fit in many of those markets. We are also lucky we have a very strong work ethic. We are known to work very, very hard. And I know our people in Embu County are hard-working. So I know the young people in Embu County know how to work hard. It is in your DNA. So when you get these jobs, I'm sure you'll not just go there and not work hard, but you'll go and even grow in that job that you're doing. Probably get an even better job as you stay on. I'm happy young people are beginning to open their minds to countries outside, to opportunities outside of our country. And therefore, I know this is a good opportunity for all of you. And because the level of unemployment in the country is very, very high, it's quite high, we must think outside the box. It's not a must that you must work in Kenya. If you can work outside the country and make your money, support your families here, be able to grow here, what is the problem? I'm very happy the PS diaspora has told me that last year alone, the amount of money that was remitted by Kenyans in the diaspora to Kenya was more than what we get from tea or coffee or any other cash crop. So it means that it is the highest foreign exchange earner for this country. So tuende huko nje, tupate kazi,
tujiinue na tuinue wale tumeacha nyuma. So my business as the governor of Embu County, my business, the business of Embu County government is to make sure we make it possible for those young people who have visited these stands and qualify and meet those minimum qualifications are properly supported so that they can be able to get these jobs. So I want to assure you, the young people of Embu County, that it is our business to support you, to give you the necessary equipment to help you get where you want to go. And please, don't live here and let it, and say whatever happens, happens. Follow up with the agencies that you have talked to. Email them, call them, so that, and if there's anything you need to do, whether it is accreditation, please feel free to be in touch with our Department for Youth. We have the Chief Officer for Youth Empowerment. She's called Jerry, Lucetta Jerry. She'll be able to support, and we are going to work very, very closely with all these recruitment agencies. We have their contacts to make sure we make it happen for you. Otherwise, I want to say we are very, very grateful. And let me take this opportunity, and I know P.S. Moria will talk about it. She talks about it every day. She never tires to say so. The future is in technical skills. The future is in technical skills. I repeat again, the future is in technical skills. When you have a skill in your hands, you are way, way better than that one who doesn't have. So let me take this opportunity also to request wazazi wote wa Embu County. We are very, very lucky. Tuko na National Polytechnic hapa Embu, Jeremia Nyaga. Tuko na Runyenjes TTI or TVET. Tuko na Manyata. Tuko na Mbeere North. 5 technical training institutes, and below there are the vocational training centers that are under county government. Musipuuze hiyo kazi. It is a good skill that can take you very, very far. Tupeleke watoto wetu kwa hii mashule, wasome, waweze kujisimamia baadaye. Whether locally, hata wale investors tunaleta, we need skills. Right now, tunamaliza kujenga the first 100 units za housing hapa Majengo. All the work that has been done there has been done by our own local people who have technical skills. All the doors, the windows have been done by our own Juakali sector. That's what we call them. But for the first time, they got a contract worth 11 million to do those doors and those windows. So let's take technical training seriously. We are going to do more houses. We have a county aggregation and industrial park that we are building in Mbeere South, Mashanga, worth $500 million. Again, we'll need technical hands to help us finish that project, even to employ thereafter. So, usisikie kama you're a small person or what you have is not an important skill. Your skill is very, very important, and be encouraged by it. And I promise you, we will support as much as we can to make this happen. P.S. I want to appreciate you so very much for accepting to come here today to Embu County, the land of opportunity, and we encourage you to come again. And although we've just had 3 days, expect me at your doorstep with my team to enhance this partnership to the next level. Asante sana. May I take this opportunity to welcome PS Dr. Esther Moria, the PS for Tibet, who I want to thank most sincerely also for really making sure we got this opportunity to host this regional event. Asante sana, PS Moria, karibu sana. Governor of Embu County, my sister, Honorable Cecily Mbaride, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Diaspora, my sister, Roslyn Njogu, the Ambassador Isaiah Kabira, the Embu County Commissioner, principals of TVET institutions present, please stand up and wave. Ladies and gentlemen, these are my lieutenants. Without these ones, I would not be standing. Development partners present, industry partners present, government officials, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Habari zenu, Mwaro. It is a great honor to stand before you today during this second edition of Kazi Maju Job Fair. I applaud the State Department for Diaspora for conceiving this initiative that, in the spirit of whole government approach, onboards various ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as private institutions to bring diaspora jobs to Mashinani. This fora offer a platform to link skilled workforce at the grassroots with opportunities available in the international labor market. Distinguished guests, TVET is playing a fundamental role in preparing the youth for successful careers, not only within the country, but also in the global market. The skills and knowledge gained through TVET programs are in high demand worldwide. It is appreciated that there has been an increased focus on technical and vocational education and training, and this hype may seem to have a publicity to TVET as a pathway to tertiary education. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to reiterate the findings of International Labour Organization on the skills mix ratio requirement for the labor market. The engineering industry, for instance, requires a skill mix-up ratio of 1 to 5 to 25 between professional engineers, technicians, and craft workers. This means that for every 1 engineer, 5 technicians are required and 25 craft workers are required as well. The latter 2 categories of personnel are products of TVET. This translates to more job opportunities for TVET graduates in the labor market. It is in this regard that the State Department for TVET and the State Department for Diaspora have collaborated to hold this Mount Kenya East Kazi Maju initiative. I am informed that over 8,000 citizens have visited the booth, hosting more than 35 recruitment agencies and over 30 TVET institutions during this 3-day fair that began on 12th of June and is ending today. Positive feedback has been received about the information in the booth, from the guidance given about the available jobs to requirements for preparedness to acquire these jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, success occurs when opportunities meet preparation. A large percentage of jobs on offer require a sort of certified skilled level. I therefore urge everyone who is qualified for tertiary courses to prepare by joining a TVET institution for skilling on an area of your choice. Those who have skills but do not have certificates are encouraged to visit the TVET institutions for recognition of prior learning. Through this, skilled candidates are assessed and certified according to the level of competence, giving an opportunity to the qualified citizens in the informal sector a chance for recognizing their qualifications. To ensure that our workforce remains competitive and acceptable to the evolving needs of the job market, the State Department for TVET is currently implementing competency-based education and training
and the dual training model. This model is anchored to ensure that TVET trainees gain top-notch industrial skills that will enable them to fit in the ever-changing industrial skills in the local and international labor market. Ladies and gentlemen, as emphasis is laid on preparedness and access to diaspora jobs, it is important to ensure that labor migration is conducted safe, legal, and ethical. To this end, the State Department for Diaspora, the National Employment Authority under the State Department for Labor and Skills Development, accredited recruitment agencies and other bodies are involved in this chain and are all here today. They have been here since Wednesday to provide guidance and support on working abroad. Let me extend, therefore, my appreciation to the State Department for Diaspora Affairs, my sister Roslyn, who we converse every day, and we are now very busy organizing how we are going to do this across the country. She has already stated that from here we will move to another region and another region and another region until we cover the entire country. Thank you very much, my sister Roslyn, and thank you very much for agreeing to start this at my home. Not that she had much of a choice, because she is my small sister, so I sit on her. Let me extend my appreciation also to the county government of Embu and the stewardship of my able sister Cecily Mbarire, who on the other hand is also a very, very close sister of mine, for agreeing to host us. Again, I was confident that when I talked to the governor about us coming here, we will have all manner of support. Thank you very much, my sister. We do not take this for granted. Thank you very much for availing security. Actually, at one time, she wrote me a message and said, watu uko kwa uwanja ni wengi. I hope they are fine. But we have the absolute security here, and under you, I was confident nothing would go wrong. So thank you very much for what you have done, and please let us continue to do a good job. I call on the youth and any citizen who is qualified or needs training to join this initiative, because it is here for you. In conclusion, I extend an invitation to all of us to join the TVET centenary existence in Kenya that will be culminated at Kabete National Polytechnic on the 31st of July 2024. This stride in linking our graduates to international job market, let me repeat that. TVET has been in Kenya for 100 years now, and we will be celebrating that Mheshimiwa Nyaga on the 31st of July at Kabete National Polytechnic, and will be graced by His Excellency the President. So we are inviting all of you to come and celebrate with us, because we will also be making that statement that TVET is the way to go. This trend is in linking our graduates to the international labor market truly attests to the theme of that 100-year celebration that was duped by His Excellency the President, that if education is the key to employability and development, then TVET is the master key. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to urge the youth to be directional. Be intentional. Thank you. Be intentional. Sio kukuja hapa tunafanya hii kazi yote siku 3 alafu mnarudi nyumbani mnalala. Hiyo ilikuwa kazi ya serikali. Hii sio kazi ya serikali, hii ni kazi yenu. It is about you. So please follow up what we have been able to tell you for the last 3 days. You have to be intentional. His Excellency the President has been telling us with this lady, when we go for meetings, nobody is a boss when we are in those meetings. Hata yeye anachukuanga chai yake na anakimbia ana walk around. Simuliona ile clip alikuwa ana walk around with a cup of tea. Hata tukienda kwa hiyo mikutano, nobody serves him. Because he is telling us we are working. And we are working to achieve results. Sio kufanya kazi tu the days negedamo de nyodire kidogo nikiadira. It is working with an end in mind. And this is what I want to tell our youth, that please, we have done all this with an end in mind. So follow up what you have been told to the end, and we are ready to assist you kwa hali na mali, ndio we live tuweze kuona what we want to achieve is achieved. Thank you very much. And now my sister, please come and speak to us.
It's a difficult thing to speak after your big sister, and as you've heard, amenikalia kidogo. So I will do my best. Thank you once again, the wonderful people of Mount Kenya East and the people of Embu for hosting us here. My dear sister, Dr. Esther Moria, the PS State Department for Tibet, Honorable Cecily Mbarira, Governor of this beautiful county of Embu, the land of opportunities, County Commissioner, the entire Ngao family, and my own team at Diaspora, Ambassador Kabira, Irene Karari, and the rest of the team and the various MDAs and partners present here at this amazing Diaspora Jobs Fair, or Kazi Maju Mashinani, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen, and the great people of County of Embu, Hamjambo. Hamjambo. I'm honored to join you here at this Moi Stadium for this Mount Kenya East Job Fair, an exhibition that began on Wednesday the 12th and is ending this afternoon. This endeavor really is a statement to the government of Kenya's response to a real issue. Moi Stadium for this Mount Kenya East Job Fair, an exhibition that began on Wednesday the 12th and is ending this afternoon. This endeavor really is a statement to the government of Kenya's response to a real issue. The government of Kenya's commitment to young people embraces the phrase, you put your money where your mouth is. 30% of our budget already goes to education. That means every collects 30% our young people. Therefore, it is the natural next step to ensure that after we have invested that heavily in our young people, we have opportunities for them. Where then do they go after they have spent the years of learning, and after as a government we have spent these resources educating them? Before I continue, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share one or two things about the incredible success that we have had with the previous Kazi Maju Diaspora Jobs Fair that we had in Meru County last month or 2 months ago. 2 months ago, last month. The months are flowing into each other. While we had a little bit over 2,000 people appearing, I am aware that about 10% of those have already received job offers. This is a commitment this is an incentive for the young people in the Mount Kenya East region to actually show up for these things because they work. People have already found opportunities, people have found their passports, And very soon, I think the MC, where is the MC from Samburu? Samburu Mwitu. The MC at the Meru event kept saying, after here, watu watakuwa wanapatana katika, what are they called? International departures is what they said in various airports. So these things are beginning to come true. So I'm very excited to hear that so far 8,000, actually the number that my team has updated me just now is 8,494 young people have already walked through these doors and are getting service. And by the time we close, I'm sure we are going to close closer to the 10,000 mark. And that will be a fantastic thing for the people of this region. So this is the second job fair, as you've heard, and we're very excited to be hosted here by the people of Embu. As you've also heard, I probably did not have much of a choice because your daughter of the soil, P.S. Moria, after she came and supported us very, very strongly in Meru, quite simply demanded that we would come and host the next one here in Embu. So you have her to thank for these opportunities. In these fairs, we hope and expect an incredible exchange of opportunities, of talent, and of information. When we set out to do the first Diaspora Jobs Fair, we were addressing a specific issue. How do we take Kazi Maju to the people of Kenya? How do we get them to understand what it actually takes to take up a job as a driver in Azerbaijan? Or as a housekeeper in Uzbekistan? Sensitize, have a conversation with the various young available, and the enthusiasm of the young people and the positive we receive in Meru, then encourage out here in Embu, and as I have said, and as I said earlier, other region, in the next region is going where we'll be rolling out. Okay, so I want to say thank you, my dear sister Esther Moore, not been supportive, but has been a real partner in this journey as we put together these job fairs. And very quickly with the TVETs, I have become very familiar with the TVETs within the region and elsewhere because of the hard work that she has put in. I also want to thank you, Governor, sincerely for hosting us here in Embu, for mobilizing all of these young people together with the county commissioner and the Ngao fraternity, for mobilizing all of these young people, and also for the commitment that you made here that the county government is going to support the young people, particularly to pursue language skilling as far as German language is concerned, and all of the other places that the county government of Embu is actually putting money in to ensure that young people can take up these opportunities. So I want to thank you for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, the State Department for Diaspora Affairs is one of the newest state departments in this country. We are just 19 months old, having been set up in December 2022. And we started off with a 6-point mandate that has now grown into a 9-point mandate that is largely about championing the rights and welfare of Kenyans abroad, promoting continuous dialogue with Kenyans abroad, supporting Kenyans in the diaspora to harness opportunities for employment and enterprise development, to develop an incentive framework for remittances, and Excellency here mentioned that diaspora remittances are actually the highest foreign exchange earner for this country. Let me just take a minute to say what that means. Last year alone, $4.2 billion was received from Kenyans who live abroad. And these are the figures that we are able to track and count through the Central Bank of Kenya. A lot of other money in terms of remittances comes through that we've not been able to track. That figure of $4.2 billion is higher than all the forex that is received from coffee, from tea, from horticulture, from tourism, from all our traditional forex earners, just because young people have dared to go abroad and work and then send money home to support their families or to invest. So this is really important work that we are doing. We also set up to harness diaspora savings, facilitate investment and technology transfer, to mainstream the Kenyan diaspora in the process of national development, to work with the Ministry of Labor to secure placement of Kenyans abroad, and that's what we're working on today, and working with labor and other stakeholders to roll out the labor migration policy and the global labor strategy, which is what we are rolling out here as well, and then to promote the participation of Kenyans in the diaspora in the democratic processes. A big part of our job is hata mkienda majuu to make sure that you're able to vote wherever you will be. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, the government of Kenya's commitment to address unemployment through labor migration is holistic, and it takes a whole of government approach, as P.S. Moria already said. When we assumed office in December, and very early, one of the things that His Excellency the President about a structured approach to helping Kenyans find job opportunities abroad. So we were brought to a number of state departments: the State Department for Diaspora, the State Department for Foreign Affairs, the State Department for Labor, State Department for Immigration, TVET, among others, including youth, and we're told to come up with something that is the government's response to this idea of labor migration. And after a lot of meetings, some of them very heated, we came up with what is now called the Global Labor Market Strategy. A part of that strategy is these mashinani engagements that bring sensitization or information to Kenyans mashinani and then help them to take up opportunities abroad. The different actors have different roles in this Global Labor Market Strategy. A big part of our job as diaspora is actually to identify the jobs and the spaces available abroad, and then to connect them with TVET and with others so that we can structure our training to be targeted to the markets where we are going, and so on. So we have rolled out this Global Labor Market Strategy. It has allowed us to map out various labor markets, and this is why early in my conversation with the governor and P.S. Moria, we were explaining what the different parts of the world need, what is needed in Germany, what is needed in Israel, what is needed in Canada, what is needed in Oman, and so on. It has already been said that Kenya has an extremely youthful population. In fact, the median age of Kenyans is 19, and this number remains consistent across the entire continent. That means that you're more likely to meet than any other person. In other parts of the world, particularly in Europe, the median age is 44, 48, 43, and so on. If you pause a little bit to ponder what that means, is that the problems that we have here of unemployment or youthful problems are not the same ones that we have abroad. Abroad, they have problems that they cannot find enough waiters to serve you breakfast. So if you go to a hotel in some of these places, room service is not available. Or if you go to mkahawa kidogo nangoja chai, you will wait quite a long time. And the person who serves you might be a 60-year-old man, 60-year-old woman, and so on. They don't have people to staff the creative industries because that is usually something that young people do. Their capacity to develop as far as ICT is concerned is constrained because, once again, ICT is one of those things that come with a youthful population. If you have a very old population, what are some of your biggest needs? Healthcare and support work. That means you don't have enough nurses, you don't have enough orderlies and other healthcare staff and so on. And so whether government intervenes or not, these push and pull factors exist, and we're going to continue to see young people moving towards these opportunities. So then we had to ask ourselves, as a government that is a government primarily of a country that has young people, how do you respond both to the challenges of your time but to the opportunities that you find yourselves in? And this is what we came up with. So some of the things that we've done apart from this is also putting together the Kazi Majuu portal, which is going to be live soon. And what the Kazi Maju portal will do is for all the young people who are unemployed, who are looking for opportunities abroad, they will go to a government portal and put in their details, and we will have listed a number of opportunities available, and then you can connect directly. Ladies and gentlemen, we've already talked about why this is important as far as beta is concerned. So as I mentioned again, I want to encourage the people of the Mount Kenya East region to take advantage. We still have a few hours for them to come through and be able to get services here. Let me also say really quickly that the services offered here are free of charge. Kwa hivyo kama kuna mtu ameambiwa mahali alipe job fair, or been asked to pay some money for services that are available here, if you would please kindly let us know, because that is not part of the agreement. The agreement is that we are offering these services for free. The diaspora officers who are here, if you could please stand. If you have found any, so this is my army, and there's many more there at the back where we have the State Department for Diaspora Affairs booth. If you have trouble, particularly if somebody is asking that you pay a certain fee to access this event, any of these young men and women is going to be able to help you. Thank you very much, team. You can clap for them. And as I'm giving warnings, let me also say two more things. Ensure always that you work with registered agents. The ones who are here, whether they're recruiting for regular jobs or they're recruiting for maritime jobs, all of the people we have brought, we have made sure are licensed by the National Employment Authority or the Kenya Maritime Authority. So if you find a job opportunity abroad that is being advertised by somebody, you need to check the National Employment Authority website and confirm that the agency that is recruiting you is actually registered and licensed, or the KMA, or it is registered and licensed by KMA. Because we have seen also a lot of rogue agents doing bad business, and that has not gone well. So please always ensure that you work with licensed agencies. And kindly let me ask the Ngao officers as well to please mtilie hili jambo mkazo sana, especially in your barazas and in your meetings. Please help us pass this information around. What we see at the State Department for Diaspora Affairs, especially when people work with unlicensed agents, is that they end up in a lot of distress in other countries, and then we have to come and help them. Tafadhali, tafadhali. Thank you very much, Ngao, and thank you, good people. So as I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, it is important that we continue to look globally for the opportunities that exist there. I wanted to say something about passports, but that has already been addressed both by PS Moria and by the governor. But just to say that we have a commitment from PS Bitok, who's a PS for immigration, that anybody who's looking for a passport for labor migration, we are putting you at the top of the list. Quite simply, we will facilitate those passports so that people can move and be able to find these opportunities. When you do succeed and you end up on the other side, in the diaspora, ensure that you register with us through eCitizen. You can register as a diasporian through eCitizen and let us know where you are so that we can support you. Do not go and fall through the cracks and only come to us if you're in trouble. Just register so that we can invite you to events, so we can send you information and so on. But please ensure that once you become a diasporian, you register with us so that then we're able to work together with our embassies to bring you mobile consular services and be able to serve you better. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to express my gratitude to all the MDAs here, the county government, who have worked very hard to making this job fair a success. Particularly, as I said, to the elected leaders and to Ngao for mobilizing such good numbers. You can prepare a feast and people refuse to come. You really can. So thank you very much for coming to the feast. Together, let us continue to build a prosperous and inclusive Kenya where every citizen has the chance to succeed and to contribute to our national development. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, PS. Please, another big round of applause for our PS. We shall now move to a very short and quick panel discussion. I'm sure there's some questions that you have to our guests today. So I want to invite to the podium a few people. Virginia Njoki, you're here? Karibu to represent the recruiters. Let me also invite Your Excellency the Governor. Karibu sana. And our two PSs. First, I want to begin by commending our various speakers for the very highlighting, very enumerative that you made today. So because of your very elaborate presentations, we're going to make this shorter. And I want to begin with PS, Madam Njogu. I know you're currently doing something called Why Hire a Kenyan? You're trying to brand Kenyan labor, just the way we talk about Kenyan coffee, why it's of high quality, why our flours are the best in the world. We are aware that your department is currently trying to brand the Kenyan labor so that these people out here can get to understand. When you go out there, what are people looking for? Why should they hire a Kenyan?
Very good. Thank you, Balozi. So there's a reason people buy Kenyan coffee, or there's a reason people buy Kenyan tea. There's tea from other parts of the world, there's coffee from other parts of the world. The reason people come to Masai Mara as tourists is a branding issue there. Why should you go to the Masai Mara and not to the Serengeti, for example, and so on? Why should you buy Kenyan coffee as opposed to Ugandan Robusta coffee and so on? When we are talking about Kenyan labor, there are also certain brand elements in there that we are trying to bring out a little more in our information so that employers around the world understand Kenyans are different from others in particular ways. Some of those things you can think about and have already been mentioned here because we all know them is a work ethic. Right? Kenyans are hard workers. This is something that we have been told over and over again, and we know this. So we want that to come out clearly. Why should you hire a Kenyan as opposed to a Tanzanian, a Ugandan, a Congolese, and so on, is because we're saying that Kenyans are hard workers. Kenyans speak English, which might be a vestige of colonialism, but has worked out in 2024 to be an important element of why you would go for Kenyan labor as opposed to labor from Angola, for example, which is not which is a Lusophone country, right? So, and actually what I hear often is that the Kenyan English accent, many Kenyans don't think they have an accent, but we all do. A Kenyan English accent is easy to understand as opposed to a Kenyan accent from Western Africa or Southern Africa or elsewhere. So, a few brand elements to think about: work ethic, English, work ethic, English. And this comes up all the time. That because we have a vibrant hospitality culture, this has helped Kenyans fit in opportunities around the world, just because they understand the need to serve quickly, to serve with respect, to speak properly, how to, I don't bring you a glass like this when I'm serving it to you, right? I put it on a tray and I put my other hand behind my back, and you know, and so the people here who are in that space can tell us. There is that element. We also are well educated. So on average, Kenyans are much better educated than other people in the sense that you have free primary education, you have free secondary education, you have access to TVETs, universities and so on, particularly through programs like HELP and so on. So people will tend to be educated. This is something that you need to highlight to labor markets around the world. And another one that we didn't actually think was important, but it keeps coming out often, is that Kenyans come from a multi-ethnic, multi-religious society. So over the years, Kenyans have learned to live together with others, to tolerate each other, people who have a different faith, people who dress differently, eat different kinds of foods, believe different things, and that works out well when you go to countries that believe differently, have different cultures, and that has turned out to be something that is a big part of the reason why we should hire a Kenyan.
Thank you very much, PS. Before I move to, thank you, to the governor, yes, Kenya is just one among many countries that are trying to meet the demand for labor out there. We've all talked about the bilateral labor agreement that needs to be signed. Germany the other day. Maybe you can use the example of Germany. What's the government doing to ensure that we have more BLAs out there? Because we were told His Excellency the President is going out of his way to appeal for more. That's the only way we're going to build more numbers for Kenyans. So what's the government doing in the area of BLAs?
Excellent. So bilateral labor agreements are an important part, or MOUs on labor migration are an important part of this conversation around labor migration, right? You want your people to go to a country where you've already sat as two governments and agreed on certain modalities. You have understood their system, they have understood our system. We have said if Kenyans are in distress, they are to be treated this way. If a Kenyan dies while on contract in a particular country, they are to be repatriated in this manner. So those bilateral labor agreements are important. They're also important in certain ways because they open market access. Remember, most of these jobs are not government jobs. Most of these jobs are private sector jobs. But because the two governments have sat and agreed, then that sends a signal to private sector that you should come and recruit from here. A good example is Germany, as you have mentioned. Yes, we've just completed successfully negotiating that agreement between ourselves and Germany that will be signed in September. Now, while that agreement does not say that the government of Germany is going to give people 1,000 jobs or 2,000 jobs or whatever, it triggers private sector in Germany to say, let us go and recruit from Kenya as opposed to any other country, because there's already an understanding between our government and their government. That also means that we discuss with them how can they create capacity at the German embassy to ensure that visas are processed faster? Can they try to understand how our TVET system works versus how their own Volksschule and the other systems work, and how we can marry the two? Can we have exchange programs between this school and the... So the BLAs in and of themselves are useful, but what they do is that they allow us to build an ecosystem of things around them. But let me also say this, Ambassador Kabira, that there are certain countries where we have had Kenyans working for a long time without bilateral labor agreements. The US, for example, where we have the largest number of our diaspora, We do not have an agreement with the US. But Kenyans have moved there, they have studied, they have stayed, and so on. So there are more than one, there are different ways of doing this. You can do bilateral labor agreements, you can get into agreements with certain large companies and ask them to come and recruit in Kenya, or in many cases we have found Kenyans lead. So diaspora go first and establish a place, and then they start calling all of the Kenyans from back home to come and then take up that space. Yeah.
Thank you very much, PS. Your Excellency, Governor, I will ask you why hire somebody from this region also. Can you give us a good reason why we should be coming here to hire people? As I told you, since we came here, tujasikia mtu anapigwa ngeta. You've been leaving late. We've not had anyone announcing here who has seen a mobile phone written something, so there must be something. So you can tell us why we should hire somebody from this region. Number two, you are the chair of the governing party, Chama Kinacho Tawala. I would like you to tell us about the commitment of government to the youth of this country, and what are some of the steps that can be taken so that we see more cohesion between national and county governments in the area of labor, migration and mobility.
Thank you very much, Balozi. Let me just say that the reason you haven't had any incidences is because the Embu County people are generally a very peaceful people. And we are hard workers. We work very, very hard. I mean, it's rare you find people where we are farmers mainly. So you'll find us in our farms working and tilling land and trying to sell what we must sell. So we are generally a very, very hard-working community. So this, and I know the same case applies to our neighbors in Meru, the Rakanidi, Kirinyaga. We have that work ethic that the PS talked about earlier, and that's why we are employable. That's why people will be happy to have us. Number two, we are very, very honest people. We are not the kind of people who will come taking away that which doesn't belong to us. We are loyal when we do our work, and we are people of high integrity. So when you get somebody from this region, you're sure you've gotten a person you can trust in your work with your life. And that's how it is. That even with the high level of unemployment, we are able to look for our shilling and live an honest and deserving life. So we feel this is an opportunity for us to bring out that intrinsic value that is in us and that can be useful in the job market. You asked, is government, is the ruling party really committed to young people? I say a very big yes. Reason being, you've heard of the great
Wacaria handu ungithomera gukunya gita, piano kana migambo niyo vocals. Rehoboth School of Music maheanaga mathomo ma kirathi kia iguru muno. Macerere Nyeri Town haria opposite Naivas Supermarket kana waranirie nao kuhetukira namba cio cia thimu 0715 031 506. Rehoboth School of Music, cama wa rwimbo nĩ inanda.
Thikũ ici andũ aingĩ nĩ mathĩnio nĩ mĩrimũ ya nerves ta gũturwo nĩ marũngo, ciande, ciara, marũngo makaga hinya, gũikara ũkĩgandaga. Nĩkĩo Neema Health Clinic ĩgĩtongorio nĩ ndagĩtarĩ Mwangi ĩrĩ haha na ithuĩ. Oho nĩ marigitaga mĩrimũ ta kũhingana gĩthũri, ulcers na goita. Mũthenya wa mwambĩrĩrio monekaga Mahich Hotel, Murang'a Town, kũng'ethana na bengi ya KCB. Naguo wa kerĩ makoragwo Thika Road Building hakuhĩ na thitĩnji. Wa gatatũ makoragwo Gĩthũngũri Diplomat House hakuhĩ na thitĩnji. Gũkũ na kũmũthĩ wa kana makoragwo Maĩ Mahiũ harĩa Mathingira House hakuhĩ na thitĩnji ya Limuru. Wa gatano makoragwo Nairobi Nyamakima Modern House. Na rĩu mũthĩ wa Jumamothi marĩkoragwo Nyeri Town harĩa Nyeri Star hakuhĩ na Naivas Supermarket. Nĩ ũndũ wa ũhoro makĩria hũra thimũ namba 0725815641. Ũgima waku wa mwĩrĩ nĩ ũtonga waku.
We are putting certainty in their future so you can have a peaceful life. Exploring emerging opportunities so you can explore life. Covering your health so you can share your well-being with others. Taking care of your investments so you can enjoy the fruits of your wise decisions. With Britam, we are assured of over 55 years experience in life insurance, health insurance, general insurance, investment,